And now, for your listening pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, Jay Dotson.
Well, another week has come. Time to throw some ink in them guns. Talk about the hunts that they've all had. 'Cause when the needle breaks the skin, that's when the stories they all begin. About the ones they've got and the ones they've had.
Back to the East Coast Bowhunting Podcast, where we strive to educate and help everyone get back into the woods. Did life smack you across the head and you tripped and fell down, smashed your face? Well, guess what? Get the fuck back up, hold my hand. Not like that. Hold my hand, and I'll drag you back into the woods. Because I'm your boy D-Rock, here with
East Coast Trev.
And
Ryan the Porn Star.
And
Modern Assassin.
Hell yeah. So, we touch on an awesome episode with Tattooed in the Wild. G's, Garrett, the Modern Assassin's family, once removed. And it just made a stellar episode, man. They're doing something new, innovative, and no one else can even replicate this, even if they tried. And the reason I say this is not just because of what they're doing, but because of their experiences that they put into from their own personal lives and their own ups and downs. So we have a special bond with them as well, because that's exactly why we're here, is that unity. So G, can you elaborate a little bit about Tattooed and Wild before we get into this episode?
For sure. Tattooed in the Wild, they were based out of Ohio. Dallas Brewer, Keith Sharrock, Ryan Davis did a lot of filming for him, and then Stephanie Sharrock, Keith's wife. You'll really find out this episode what all Tattooed in the Wild is about. But a lot of us have tattoos, and a lot of us live the wilderness and outdoor lifestyle, and especially hunting. And
we're all wild.
A lot of us get tattoos to signify or memorize, memorialize certain hunts or aspects of the woods or our lifestyle, and they really do a good job of kind of merging those two things.
Word. What'd you take away from this episode, Trev?
I took a lot away from it, honestly. And
what sticks out the most?
I think it's just their passion and their love for the great outdoors, man. And they're just one of a kind, honestly. And Keith and Dallas, those two have a brotherhood that I don't think that very many could top, to be honest. Those two, you'll hear throughout the episode, the guys will start talking, and they'll just give each other the utmost respect and the biggest pat on the back that, only someone that's family can give one another.
Yeah, it's very sincere and genuine. What'd you take away from the episode, Ryan?
Man, I'm still amped up. Like Trev said, the passion these guys have for the industry, for the outdoors, for each other, for the Tattoo in the Wild studio and everything they've done. It's just incredible, man. The energy that these guys put off is just it's just there, You got to listen, you got to stay tuned. These guys are just there's some savages and there's some real passionate guys, and what they do with this industry and the outdoors is beyond your imagination. So it's incredible.
Hell yeah! I think I fell in love again. Let's get to it.
Lydia Walter, why East Coast Bowhunting Podcast?
Because neither one of us wear pink camo.
East Coast Bowhunting Podcast. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Look, man, I'm from Wisconsin, and I listen to East Coast Bowhunters because you don't get anything more real than these guys.
Because East Coast Bowhunting sets the standards for keeping its listeners informed on everything that matters in the hunting industry.
Nice having somebody, local and represent the East Coast for us.
The East Coast is going to saddle up.
Number one source for slaying whitetails on the East Coast.
Well, you might see Jesus if you actually shoot something, it'll get you into heaven.
Why East Coast? Why not? I'm East Coast, baby. That's how we roll. Chew on that.
Come on the show, a stranger, and you feel like one of the boys when you leave.
Because I get my hunting camp anytime I want.
There's some absolute monsters roaming the East Coast, and I think it needs a little attention, so why not bring it to the East Coast Bowhunters podcast?
Man, because East Coast is a tight-knit crew, and y'all like me. Raw, real, no bullshit.
Because you guys are hometown boys. I love you guys. I love you guys. I love you guys.
This is Kurt Geyer with Working Class Bowhunter, and East Coast Bowhunting Podcast is the only hunting podcast I'll tune into.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the East Coast Bowhunting Podcast, where we strive to educate people, maybe entertain them, and then help them evolve into the next situation in their scenario. I'm your boy D-Rock here with
East Coast Trev
and
Ryan the Porn Star.
And we're here in Slayer Studio in Coventry, Connecticut, hiding in the mountains of God's heaven. We have a special treat for you tonight. We talked to some East Coast Slayers, along with an Ohio boy. I mean, what do we call that, Ryan? Middle Eastern?
Middle Eastern, yeah.
All right, so Middle Eastern and some East Coast Slayers as we talk to Kieth Sharrock and Dallas Brewer from Tattooed in the Wild. And we have a special guest appearance with Garrett Benner, the modern assassin, chiming in to fill in the gaps on Tattooed in the Wild. And this episode is made possible by Shabeen Brewing, the Hunter's Beer, 100 Demons, East Coast hardcore music known worldwide, Trev's Euros for all your Euro mount needs, Encore Targets, self-healing targets to self-heal your pockets, Meyer Trail Cameras, who's on your hit list, Outright Hunting Products. The Morph Pro is the last bow hanger you'll ever buy. Tree Thrasher. Imitate the wild. Use promo code EastCoast15. Death Wish Coffee. The world's strongest coffee. Use promo code EastCoast10. Ethics Archery. It's like steroids for your arrows. Use promo code EastCoast10. Nor'easter Game Calls. Get them in close. This show is driven by Scranton Motors and powered by Scranton Power Sports. And make sure you saddle up with Wild Edge Inc., the leader in mobile hunting. Our partner to push what we push. And we push bow hunting. And they help your hunting scenario come to life. Don't pick your tree, pick your hunting spot. Gator Outdoors, outfitting the working class. And this show is presented by Working Class Bowhunter, the brand in the hunting industry. The OGs in hunting podcasts. Our boys, our family. Promo code WCB15 for your HHA sights or your Virtus Rest or even some HHA gear. Maybe even a sight cover. You can, if you're into that type of thing. Right, Drifter? Or use promo code WCB25 for the North American Whitetail Championship entry. This way you have a chance to win big bucks by slaying big bucks. Use promo code ECB to save you some money on WCB gear. East Coast Bowhunting Podcast is here as always for new and old hunters by sharing our experiences in the woods through playing and slaying. What's up?
What's going on, guys?
How we doing tonight, boys?
I don't know. I think you guys need some alcohol or something. You guys look like
just tired,
the
bro.
Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Shit. So what'd you guys get into last night?
Last night, man?
Yeah.
Not much. Quiet night, grinding at work still.
Really?
Yeah.
Which work though? Which job is this?
We'll keep that to your imagination.
Well, you don't want to go into my imagination.
Yeah, you asked, man. You asked.
That's not a good imagination.
All I see is a buffalo, you and a G-string, a 9-iron, and then the ritual on your back.
Dude, you're pretty fucking close.
Am I?
Yeah, you're pretty close.
Was it a G-string?
Maybe.
Or was it a buffalo?
Both. Maybe it was a G-string on a buffalo.
Oh.
Ooh.
For some reason, I smelt that transition.
How about that 9-iron?
Again, leave that to your imagination. You don't want to know.
Yeah. No, we really don't.
What about you, Trev? How'd work go today, man?
Just grinding it out, man. It was a busy day. It was nice and hot. Fish were biting, so my day kind of gets a little crazy, and yeah, it goes on, dude. Oh. Just on that daily grind, dude. All the days kind of start to blend together now when you work 7 days a week, so it's all the same.
Welcome
just different faces.
Yeah, welcome back to the working force field.
Yeah, I know. It's rough, dude.
You get used to it once you always work.
Never happen again, so I don't have to worry about those things.
Oh, man. That's funny. Yeah, man. So, I mean, we've just been ripping episodes away and talking about grinding. The three of us have really been getting it in. Any chance we get, we're laying down a track with someone. And that's what it is, man. It's a lot like hunting. If you don't put in the work, you're not going to succeed. So make sure you stay stepping and stay slaying there. That's the end of the show.
Yeah,
Wrap it up.
Again, another one of those quickies? Damn.
Ryan knows all about the quickies.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's going to be a great episode, man. I'm excited to get Kieth Chirac and Dallas Brewer and our boy G back on the line. And this way we get to enlighten everyone about Tattooed in the Wild. It's pretty dope.
Yeah, I love Tattooed in the Wild.
I love you, Trev.
What is up, my fellow savages? And welcome back to the weekly Whitetail News with Ryan the Porn Star.
With who?
Ryan the Porn Star. East Coast Trev.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, God.
Of course, we preach unity and positivity here at East Coast Bowhunting, but I know I can speak for all of us that we just cannot tolerate hunter harassment from the anti-hunter. Many, if not all states, have hunter harassment laws, but now one East Coast state is looking to crack down and stiffen up the penalties.
How stiff?
I knew you. That's why I looked at you and I waited. I knew it was coming. Much stiffer.
Isn't he a Connecticut boy? A Connecticut boy that was hunting in Massachusetts?
Please elaborate, Trev.
I don't know why you're looking at me. You're the news reporter, right?
Come on.
I don't know if he has some breaking news from the field.
No. So the guy that you're talking about was at Quabbin in Massachusetts.
Correct.
To stiffen up that law.
What's it called that time?
Quabbin. It's a state forest in Massachusetts.
Quabbin Reservoir.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Anyways.
You know he's from Connecticut, right?
Which one?
The guy who it happened to the hunter harassment to?
Correct. There's many different hunter
harassments.
All right,
go ahead.
All right, here we go.
Back to it.
I thought he was just rubbing the edges on it. Go ahead.
Senator Michael Moore in the state of Massachusetts has sponsored the bill after hearing the story of a Massachusetts hunter by the name of Matthew Pearl who fell 25 feet after his tree stand was sabotaged. The cables on his stand were intentionally cut, leaving enough strands to hold the stand to the tree until the hunter stood on it, which at that time, the cables broke, causing Matthew to take a 25-foot fall. After major surgery, the hunter survived, but with a 6 to 8 months recovery time and loss of work, makes for a detrimental situation for himself and his family, and I'm sure we can all agree to that. Under the current Massachusetts hunter harassment law, it is a fine of up to $500 or 14 days in jail, but according to NCON officer John Pagic, it generally results in just a $50 fine. Under the new bill from Senator Moore, vandalism...
Wait a minute.
Whoa.
So, an anti can ruin someone's life and get away with a $50 ticket?
Correct.
This is the world we live in.
What the fuck?
Yep.
Thank God for Trump. Please continue.
Under the new bill from Senator Moore, vandalism of hunting equipment will be a criminal charge, up to 2 years in jail and a $5,000 fine. Then with vandalism resulting in bodily injury, punishable up to 5 years in jail and $10,000 fine.
And a public hanging.
Yeah, and if you ask me, it should be under the same class as attempted murder.
That's what I'm saying. If someone did something like that, that is... bare minimum manslaughter.
Absolutely.
Attempted manslaughter.
Cause something that allows a hunter to fall from heights that can easily result in death. I mean, that alone just kind of tells you right there.
I think that we should just start taking lug nuts off of anti-hunters' cars.
You think?
Boom.
I mean, it's the same equivalence.
You heard it from East Coast Trev.
Actually, no, because then what if that dude drives into a hunter because of that accident?
Well, he can.
We're working on it. We're working on it.
We're working on the details.
We're working on it.
We'll find something else. Snares out their front doors. I don't know.
There you go. Now you're thinking.
But this bill will also add new offenses, including using aerial technology such as drones, verbally or physically threatening a hunter, and falsely posting restricted property. These will result in up to 1 year in jail and a $1,000 fine. So, good for you, Senator Michael Moore, the state of Massachusetts, and all of our fellow hunters. Now, this is a bill we can all stand behind. And, of course, this does teach us all to check our equipment, especially those stands that we do leave in the woods. You never know who's coming by in the off-season when you're not there. You got to check your equipment before going into it, because at any time, something can happen to any of us.
More so now than ever, especially
Absolutely.
if there's people like that out there.
Absolutely. You know? So in other news, Zeus Broadheads has cut loose their new practice head / small game head. And yes, it is the same head. It is now available in single and 3-packs. So make sure all you slaying machines pick up some Zeus practice heads to dial in your setup, so when it comes time to cut the Zeus loose on that once-in-a-lifetime animal, you make it count. And that is your weekly Whitetail News, brought to you by Ryan the Porn Star. And as always, send me your news. And send D-Rock your nudes.
Got him.
Got him.
My notifications, all of them are off. Like I said last episode, man. I don't check. So
Well,
you get better results with Trev, because remember that one you showed me and I puked a little in my mouth?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was disgusting.
You like it.
He keeps bringing it up.
If that's what you're into,
yeah.
You may like it. Oh man, this is crazy. But on other news,
I really liked the fact that they're going to pass that law, though. Honestly,
well, hopefully,
because
man.
Oh, I guess that's me. Fishing and foraging fun with East Coast Trev. The local striped bass is still on fire, and fish up to 50 pounds are just flooding the area. Being caught on eels, bucktails, storm shad, trolling tubing worms, and also snapping wire. Bottom fishing for fluke, porgies, and sea bass is still producing some really giant sizes and awesome numbers. Hitting the squid, clams, spearing, and chartreuse has been the color to go to. Great reports of spear fishing going on from all over. Our friends Scott McFish and his friends shot some giants this past weekend off of Block Island. Luke Wiggins shot a bunch of blackfish here in Connecticut with a pole spear, and a good friend of ours, Hell Local of New Jersey, is spearing fluke and triggerfish. Great summer activity for all.
I throw you off on that one?
Yeah, just a little bit. Bow fishing is also still producing all kinds of numbers up and down the East Coast. Tons of slimy carp, snakeheads, and even some sheephead, gars, and all kinds of different species. Our offshore report came in today from a great friend, Captain Mike, killing a deep sword, deep dropping squid in the canyons. Also to go along with that, some tile fish and over 20 bluefin tuna. And I'll just say this, it is red hot. Cough, cough, the dip or the claw. If you know, you know. Still seeing great reports from the freshwater, from largemouth to even some tiger muskie being caught. On these hot days and early mornings and evenings, I would fish the shallows. And at night, I would get out there and fish. But on that note, I would definitely try to get those aggressive fish to bite, and I would use some plugs, jiggerbugs, or buzz baits, or even some spooks. When fishing in deeper water, I use live baits, plastics, fishing them slower, or even vertical jigging spoons. So, I did get some special foraging reports coming in here. Starting to set close into the picking season, we're starting to find summer pogurchis. I don't even know how to say it. It's the red ones with the white stems.
What,
look them up.
Or?
Yeah, it's it's spelled Porcini. I even just butchered that. It's Porcini. CINI. I can't even talk. Porcini. Yeah. But I know where they can find they can be found. You can look in hemlocks and also in the hardwoods on the forest floor. Also, the early golden chanterelles, they can also be found on the floor underneath the hardwoods and in the pines.
Oh, the chanterelles?
The early golden ones.
Oh boy, do I have a spot for those.
Yep. And
Does
also
it start with an M?
No.
My backyard.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, my backyard.
But don't forget about the oysters and the rachinis. Those can also be found this time of year, and they're ready to be picked. The oysters can be found on older poplar trees and in the poplar family trees. So that's a good place to find those. The rachinis, which is a medicinal mushroom, can be found on dead or dying hemlocks. So that's your foraging and fishing fun with East Coast Trev, and make sure to send in your reports and even your hunting and mushroom picking pictures.
That was good, man. That was good.
I got a little bit. Oh,
that was a Super Mario mushroom.
Oh yeah.
That's dope.
And that's what those ones I was talking about, the red
porcinis.
ones. The porcinis. That's what they look like. They look like a Mario mushroom. So
cool. Let's get Tattooed and Wild on the line.
When you're getting tattooed in the wild, telling every story with a smile. When you're getting tattooed in the wild, making every step worth their while.
So we're back on the line with Kieth Chirac and Dallas Brewer from Tattooed in the Wild. What's up, fellas?
What is happening?
What's going on, fellas?
And then we have our special guest appearance of, lo and behold, Garrett Benner, the Modern Assassin. What's good, G?
Yo, what's cracking?
Crack-a-lackin'. Welcome to... Actually, we're out in the sticks here in Connecticut at this studio. We're not in the hood this time. So it's pretty similar to what you guys are familiar with. An exception of maybe G. Because you live on a farm, don't you? Or something like that?
Yeah, I'm on a farm, agriculture, a couple cows running around out back, good old country boy shit.
Word. So, Kieth, did I say your last name correct?
That is it.
Word.
It's rare that somebody says it right the first time. So.
Yeah, and I never thought to ask. But I think maybe one episode, early episode on a beer special, so I blame it on Shabine. I think I might have said like Shamrock or something like that. I don't know. But I don't have it twisted now. So let's kick it off right, boys. I mean, shit, you guys decide from... Let's start with Dallas. Tell us who you are, where you're from, and where we can find you.
All right, I'm originally from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Moved to Ohio. That's where I met Kieth. And here recently made the decision to make a move back to Virginia area to open the first Tattooed in the Wild studio.
Awesome.
So that's where I'm at now. Been here for about a year.
Word. And are you on social media platforms?
Yes, absolutely. Instagram, Facebook, just everything under Dallas Brewer or Tattooed in the Wild Studio.
Awesome, man.
Is where you can find it.
Word. So let's switch it over to Kieth now. Kieth, tell our listeners who you are, where you're from, and where we can find you.
Well, my name's Kieth Chirac. I am born, raised, and currently in the Buckeye State. Hunting's my passion. It's my life.
I'm sorry, Kieth, you cut out a bit. Can you repeat that, please?
Yeah, I am Kieth Chirac. I am born, raised, and currently reside in the Buckeye State. And
Kieth, you there?
You guys still there?
Yeah, we're losing you a little bit there, Keith.
Oh, yeah. No, it's all good, man. So,
You talking about being in the sticks, D-Rock. Keith had to go a little bit, so he had to go somewhere to get better service for this.
yeah, I remember when we visited there not too long ago for the Ohio Deer Classic. Yeah, you're talking about in the middle of God's heaven. You know, that's out in the sticks for sure. For sure.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. Okay, you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah, we can hear you really good.
We had to pack it up and move it outside, so.
There you go. There you go. So where can we find you? Are you on social media as well?
Yeah, you can find me. It's Keith Rock Tattooed in the Wild on Instagram. Just find me at Keith Rock on Facebook.
Awesome. So I mean, let's dive right into it, man. Let's keep it on Keith's channel and let us know a little bit of your hunting history. When it started sparking interest and shit.
Well, wait just a second now. Shabby. All right, please proceed.
I like that.
Man, that's crazy. I don't have any Shabines, but I got some moons, so we'll have to stick with a moon. But
Hey, your wife stole my best Shabine, by the way. But anyway, yeah, go ahead.
No, man. I was, I grew up on a small farm, and my hunting started, since I could walk, man. I mean, my dad would take me out all the time. My grandpa, my uncles and stuff. So that's kind of where it started, man. My passion started when I was young, and I got a little older. My dad would always take me gun hunting for deer. That's kind of how I started out hunting deer. And from there, it just really, I guess my passion for hunting really, really exploded when I started becoming more. When I was 15, I was actually diagnosed with a form of leukemia, and kind of get teary-eyed a little bit because it means a lot to me. But no, it's I was faced with a large obstacle with a lot of chemo and radiation and stuff like that, and had a lot of time off, and man, I'd just get out to the woods and hunt, and it was kind of like my own little peaceful place. And so my passion really derived, I guess, at that moment. And I knew what it kind of did for me and people around me, and just taking different people around me all the time out hunting. And so that's kind of where my passion derived from a lot, I guess. And I picked up a bow when I was 13, and it was an old Fred Bear, had the 2 little wheels on it, and so there, it kind of hooked me, man, back then. And when I was I killed my first buck when I was 14 with a bow, and from there, man, it's pretty much just that's all I wanted to do.
That's dope, man. That's really dope. And Dallas, what about you, man? Because obviously the outdoors is huge influence in your day-to-day work. Can you dive into that a little bit? Not the work side, but like your passion for the outdoors.
Yeah, well, honestly, it all came from Keith. So when I moved to Coshocton, Ohio, well, first off, in Louisiana, I just mostly did bass, a little bit of largemouth bass fishing. That's all we did with my dad. That's what we grew up knowing. We grew up in the city and moved to Ohio and had 2 children, bought a new house, and I was tattooing Stephanie, Keith's wife, and she was telling me about her husband that hunted, and he didn't really have any tattoos, but she wanted to get covered. So I was purchased this new home, needed some construction done. She mentioned Keith, so he came over and was doing this work for me that no one else said they wanted to do. And one day he talked about he wanted to go fishing, and we didn't really know each other that well. And I was like, yeah, I'll definitely, I'm fine if you go fishing. I was like, you care if I come with you? And he was like, no, not at all. So we ended up going together to a pond that a buddy of mine had given me permission to. Later that evening, Keith asked if I minded if he roosted a bird, and I had no clue what he was talking about. And I was like, yeah, do whatever you're going to do. Well, he ended up getting 2 toms to just start hammering. And as soon as I heard that gobble, I looked at him and I said, I want to hunt whatever that is. I said, I need to see what that is in person. So Keith said, if you can get permission on this property, it's a done deal. I'll take you opening day. I think we were about a week out. And I was like, deal. So we went to the house, called my buddy. He gave us permission. Keith kind of showed me what to buy camo-wise, what I needed, what kind of shotgun. And we hunted hard for a week. Nothing. Couldn't get anything to gobble after that. But we just kept at it, and we both actually doubled up the first hunt. And from there on, it was over. I just had the sickness for turkey. That's where it all started. And the whole Tattooed in the Wild beginning fired up because we just had some awesome experiences hunting, and I actually had production equipment from promoting some cage fights and boxing fights that I did because I ran a boxing gym. And I was like, man, let's take this equipment out and see if we can get some on film. So we just started messing around and started getting a few little hunts on film, and they really weren't anything good, but we just thought it was a good time, and everything just kind of struck up from there.
That's pretty awesome, man. So you said you ran a boxing gym before?
Yeah, I had a boxing gym for almost 17 years. Started off as a youth program and then just had a handful of pros come through there, and, you know, had a couple of world champions that have been in the gym. It was just another awesome experience of being in Ohio as well.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So
he's trained a few killers. A few big names have been through their training with Dallas. That's for sure.
Word. So how does Garrett come into the picture right now with you two?
Okay, so Keith and I kept filming, kept hunting, and started just getting more and more into it. Well, as I got into hunting and I started becoming obsessed with it with Keith, I started noticing that I was doing a ton of wildlife tattoos. So they were just coming in, and now I was into them. I was like, man, this is awesome. So everybody that came in, I was like, man, this is cool. I'm definitely into doing this. So that's where the idea just kind of came about, and I sat down with Keith. I was like, you know what? All these other guys are doing these hunting shows, but they just don't have that edge. I was like, the tattoo industry and the hunting industry are two of the largest industries right now. If we can figure out a way to mix these two together, we'll be on to something.
Word.
So I kind of
go ahead.
the idea of the whole Tattooed in the Wild and was like, hey, you know, we could just tell the story, and every hunt can be relived through a tattoo. And then that's where we started kind of coming up with the names. So Instagram, we started hitting it really hard, and we tried to figure out how are we going to find people to, you know, to capture these stories that have different stories. Well, Garrett was one of the first guys I followed through Instagram, and we saw that he was just on the stingrays, just everything. He was just super involved, and I was like, man, this dude's covered in tattoos. He's exactly what we want for an episode. So I just told Keith, hey, I'm going to reach out to him, shoot him a message, give him a heads up of what we're doing, see if he's interested. So he instantly gave me a call back, and from there we pretty much set up a trip to, you know, hit the bay and start busting some stingrays, and we ended up getting some unbelievable footage, and I think the friendship just kind of grew from there, and he started coming to Ohio all the time.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Man. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, and it's, you know, and, you know, after that, I think the first year that me and Garrett, you know, we all went out and did the stingray fish and hung out. I think it was the following year. That's kind of when I invited, I think it was that same spring, I invited Garrett to come out and actually do some turkey hunting, because he said he's always wanted to come out and turkey hunt. And so that's I think one of his obsessions, where he kind of came in, and now it's for turkeys, and now it's like kind of becoming this kind of thing every year. It's kind of like a tradition, man. He comes out every spring, and we do some turkey hunting, and man, it's a pretty good time.
Hell yeah.
Well, D-Rock, as you know, I refer to them as my Ohio family. You know, when I'm talking to them or I mention them, just like, yeah, going to see my Ohio family. You know, I'm talking about Keith and Steph and Ryan and Dallas when he was there. But yeah, man, we had a blast that first trip. Or, you know, these guys, they traveled out to come fish, come shoot some rays. And I mean, we had kind of talked and knew each other, but yeah, as soon as we started killing shit, the friendship was pretty solidified. And Keith, the first time I came out there with you was actually, we went to Steph's stand in the worst miserable raining weather ever with your muzzle loader that still to this day, I believe I got a little kiss mark on my forehead where the scope got me and everyone else who touches that fucking gun.
I got it for sure.
Oh, you got it too? See, everybody that shot that bitch has a mark from it. It's like she leaves you a hickey, man.
Hell yeah. You know what? I think I heard this story before, G, because we had to spend a lot of time on the road together to drive to Ohio and shit. I definitely want to hear a little bit from Keith's perspective on that story and also the hardwoods that you're hitting up there in Ohio. You can transition to either whatever style you do, either state land or private land, what have you.
Yeah, definitely. It's actually, this muzzleloader. I don't know if it's cursed or what, but I think most everybody on this call has been kissed by this scope on this thing. It's the devil for sure, man.
But it kills shit.
I ended up giving it to my brother last year, and he shot a real nice 8-point. And you can actually go on my Instagram and see the pictures of this thing leaves. It got me in Kentucky a couple of years ago, my brother last year, and he killed a nice 8. I think Dallas got it when we was getting ready to go to Kentucky, and he was practicing, and it lit him up. And then, I think Garrett's got some real good footage of that thing lighting his ass up too. So,
yeah, we got good footage of that buck falling down, and then I looked at the camera, and blood just starts running down between my eyes. I'm like, I think I got a kiss.
I just had to give that gun to my oldest brother, man. I was just like, it's too much for me. But no, I mean, we can kind of go into the hunting here. Where we are in Coshocton, we're actually in Coshocton County, Ohio. We're kind of like we're in about an hour east of Columbus, but kind of central. We're right in the foothills, man, right before you get up into the Ohio River Valley. But yeah, it's we got. I think our county right now has been going on like a 10 or 12 year stretch for the #1 deer kills in Ohio. And you literally from my house, you can probably drive a quarter mile and you're on state property. One good thing about where we are, we have a ton of state ground. I mean, I probably shouldn't be saying this too much. A lot of people hear this, but anyway. No, we're. I think there's Woodbury Wildlife Area is next to me, and it's 22,000 acres total next to me. And then you go probably 20-minute drive, you got Wills Creek Wildlife Area. I think it's 13,000 acres. But man, it's just there's a lot of good state ground around here. I kind of grew up doing both. The farm I grew up on as a child, my dad would always take us out hunting. But sometimes when it was slow, man, we'd go to public land. We'd go to that Woodbury Wildlife Area, and my dad's been successful on it. I've killed a lot of does, a couple decent bucks, Back then, when we were a kid, you seen a deer, man, it just got your heart pumping. You just shot. But
that's what it's all about.
But it's, as I progressed as a hunter, I guess as an outdoorsman, I'll bring kind of Ryan into this thing too. Ryan had a big farm. I had a couple good properties, family farms that I had, and we managed. I wanted to get bigger bucks, because we were shooting, 110, 120s consistently, and it was just like, the trend, 8, 9, 10 years ago was let's get some bigger deer. Let's try to get some bigger deer. So we tried, mineral sites. We tried different things, and then passing younger deer up. So it just become an obsession of mine. So, here recently I've hunted a lot of private ground. I've got quite a few properties that I manage and hunt. I'm constantly on the go, trying to find that big deer. But no, it's actually some of our state ground around here. There's some people that shoot some hogs, man. Garrett can, I've showed, pictures to Garrett and plus Dallas on here. I hunt a piece of property that borders this wildlife area, and I got a booner that's the last 2 years has been coming off this property and onto this private property. So, there's good hunting here, man. And the biggest thing I think I see, and actually one of my other friends, Ryan Barron from Managing Deer TV, we actually just had this conversation yesterday on the way up from working on one of his properties. How many people are actually hunting private property around here has decreased, I think. Just in general pressure, of hunters being in an area, man. I mean, I think public's a good thing, and that's something I want to look more into, and G can kind of testify this thing, which you guys got your hands in a lot of stuff right now, especially with this, saddle hunting, man. I think that's a big game changer for a lot of this public ground. If you get into some of these areas where there's not, it's harder for people to get back into. I think your odds of dragging a booner out of here is pretty high. So, but no, man. I mean, I grew up doing both. I really, really, really enjoy being able to sit back and put cameras out and food plots, minerals, grind it out, man. Trying to find big deer, and being able to watch these deer grow, 2-3 period, and just watch them grow, big deer, and be able to finally harvest one, man. I mean, there's nothing better. I mean, but yeah.
Yeah, for people that don't know Keith, he is obsessed. I mean, there's no other way to put it. I mean, it's a year-round thing with the food plots, with the management, with changing things. Stands don't always stay the same place from year to year. As the woods change, as things grow, as things die, as new food plots are put in. It may even be the next piece of property next to them got leased to, some more guys, and next thing you know, there's 20 Amish guys in there hunting, and guess what? The deer are pushed off of that property now. They're not coming from that direction anymore.
So
Keith is ate up with it, and year round, it's all whitetail, except for when he becomes a turkey zombie.
Yeah, the turkey zombie.
You know what? Let's transition to Dallas and him. And Dallas, so you hunt in Virginia at all?
No, actually, I'd like to, but since I moved here, being a new business, I sold 3 very successful businesses in Ohio that come here. So this last year, I've put 100% into this business, because the Tattooed in the Wild will not be able to move any further until this thing is successful. So this last year, I've put everything I have into this shop and to get this thing off the ground, and it's been unbelievable. The response. So it's that's where all my time's been this year. I did make it to Ohio this past turkey season with my daughter. The rule is with her, because Keith passed the sickness on to her, and the rule is we have to get her on a bird or a whitetail before any of us are allowed to. So I took her down there. He put her on a beautiful bird opening morning, and then the next day we won't talk about what happened then.
Oh no, we can talk about it.
Oh, I heard about it. I more than just heard about it. I think there was a rant about it, but that's actually all I was going to say is, Dallas, some of your favorite hunts, or my favorite hunts of yours, you're not the one with the crossbow or the gun.
Absolutely.
And the way your girl is ate up with hunting, and you do not get a more raw, real emotion than she exuberates when she is out hunting. I mean, if watching her on a hunt doesn't get your heart pumping too, like, there's something wrong with you. She is definitely ate up with it.
Yeah, I always told Keith that it's I get way more adrenaline rush and enjoyment myself watching her, because it is just so exciting. I mean, she breaks out in tears every time.
That's really cool.
I can't tell you there's every single hunt. And she's not, Keith has been there alongside of every single one of them. He's either taking her out or he's filming behind her and I. So there's a ton of just unbelievable footage and unbelievable reactions from her and everybody else around.
I love it. They are some of my favorite videos that you guys have. You just don't get any more natural and real excitement than from a child, but the way she gets into it, it's pretty amazing. I love watching her hunt.
And a lot of it with Keith, I went through a pretty crazy divorce, and my kids were only 4 and 5, and I got full custody of both my children, and their mom moved back to Virginia. So, Kieth and Stephanie were the only family that I had there. I didn't have any brothers and sisters. My mom was in Florida. It was Kieth and Stephanie. They were my family. And, for Kieth, through his chemo treatments and stuff, he hasn't been able to have children of his own. So my children to Kieth, meant just as much to him as anybody else. So for him to take them out, it meant more to him than we probably even know, for all of us. So it was just an awesome experience for everybody. It was time for me to get closer to my children and bond with them, with them losing their mom, moving to another state, and going through everything with Kieth. He was there from day one, from the moment everything happened. And him and Stephanie, and they just showed us their love for the outdoors and passed it on to my family. So I could never, ever repay him for that. And just having these videos that's worth every single moment, everything we've ever put into it.
Hell yeah. So now that you have all that influence and now you have like the bite that you're calling, because the turkey zombies obviously biting everyone, getting them infected. You know what I mean? Now that you have that in your kind of mindset as well, along with the business, which is, we're going to dive into that hard in a little bit, but what is your all-star deer camp now? Like, now that you're much more involved and you have the bite, like what would be your kind of, everyone's got idols, I guess. So what would be your fantasy deer camp?
Honestly, going back to Ohio and hanging out with Kieth. That is it. Honestly, I don't even enjoy hunting if Keith's not involved. He's, he is my brother, and it's, I couldn't imagine a deer camp without him beside me.
That's awesome.
So,
being cheers to that.
Yeah, out here,
Yes,
here, Johnny Simonetti's out here. He's my Virginia brother, and he's been a supporter from day one, and he's just, he's an amazing guy out here. And I go out and hunt with him a bunch and try to get Johnny on film, but it's just, Ohio and hunting with Kieth is still where it's at for me. I don't even know if I would take a trip without Kieth being there.
You know what?
Even if he's behind the camera.
I'll take his place. If it ever comes up, I'll take Keith's place if you got a trip and he can't go. Just put that out there.
Yo, Dallas, it must be the house wine that Kieth makes.
Oh, it's it definitely helped out our wedding. I'll tell you that.
I said that was my goal, man. I wanted to see a bunch of drunk and hungover people the next day, and it worked.
You did it.
Okay, no, let me put this out there, just so Dallas knows. What Kieth told me verbatim was, my goal is to make everyone fucking puke.
And
he did it.
So lo and behold,
it was some powerful shit. It was good.
Lo and behold, D-Rock comes out to Ohio, and that's exactly what happened. Is everyone was hungover the next day.
Oh yeah, got Shabini that night, baby.
Bunch of Shabiners.
Yeah, I think.
Well, Dallas, I wanted to ask you a question too, Dallas. You were talking about how obviously, you got to get your daughter on one first. Your boy Legend was more into hunting then too, but that was I remember that time when things were getting a little more difficult. It was kind of just as I met you guys, and you and Kieth were together on a property during shotgun season, and you took a nice buck, and I remember the footage, and I remember, that just meant a lot to you because everything going on in your life with that.
Yeah. So
you want to just tell us a little bit more about that? Because that was something. Yeah. Seeing it, that was touching for me too.
Yeah. So that hunt there, Kieth had me believing that I was the greatest hunter in the world. I was passing up 120-inch deer. Kieth was having me thinking that I was going to kill 170-inch. He'd always try to gas me up to shoot. But in my head, I was thinking, you know what, I'm going to take 150, 160-inch buck because I'd already seen them on the trail camera. But reality set in, and I realized that's not going to happen. So we hunted hard for first season. I ate a tag, never even shot I did shoot a doe. So I still never shot a buck at this point. Going into the next season, that's when I started going through my divorce. And Kieth and Stephanie, I didn't have anybody to watch the kids other than them. Well, Kieth called me on opening day of shotgun, and he said, hey, I got this buck coming in. I know you want to shoot a buck with a bow, but Stephanie's going to watch the kids. You're coming with me. You need to get out of the house. You need to come here. And it was like right in the middle of everything. You know, and I thought I might lose my children and then they'd be moving to Virginia. So I was just sick to my stomach going through everything. So Kieth drugged me out. We get up there, and he was like, we're going to take my shotgun instead of the bow. We're going to go out with the shotgun. So it's one of the adjustable, collapsible stocks. So he has it set up. It's the Mossberg. And I didn't realize he had the stocks all the way in. So we're up there. Had never shot this shotgun at all. We're sitting up there just waiting. And in my head, I'm thinking this isn't going to happen. Last light, I hear something. Boom, here comes a beautiful 8-point, the one that Kieth knew was going to show up, he said. So I see him coming. I tell Kieth, here he comes. You know, of course, I'm shook up. Boom, I squeeze the trigger, and it almost knocks me out of the stand.
Oh, damn.
And when I was going through it with the kids, I was like, I will never go up without a safety harness. Always tied on, you know, made sure Kieth double strapped the sets. Like, I was like super, super sketched out about being a big guy up in a tree that high. So, boom, shot him. So this wasn't the muzzleloader. This is his shotgun. And this thing splits me wide open, too. So I didn't see what happened. I don't even know if I hit the buck. So I'm instantly thinking, my reaction's kind of back and forth. I'm like, did I hit him? And Keith's like, I don't know. I think you did. So Kieth starts second guessing. So I'm just sick to my stomach. This thing was like 15 yards. Well, then we finally get down. We watch the footage. Looks like I hit him because he had a crazy kick. When he ran off, his tail was down, went right into the woods. We found him. He was like maybe 5 yards in the edge of the woods, in the wood line. And, yeah, it was probably one of the most emotional hunts I've ever had, other than watching Piper. I mean, it was at a time to where it was needed. So definitely blessed on that. Definitely blessed that Kieth was there. But it's, that was the one that started it all with the whitetail.
That's awesome,
but
man.
It's still the turkey. Turkey's still my number one. He started that sickness off, and that's it for me.
That's really dope. And why is the turkey? Because of the calling them in?
I think just working them. I mean, I think just sitting at the base of a tree early morning and just hearing the gobble, and then you just know, this could happen. It might not, and just trying to work them to you. I think just the excitement of that. And then, sitting there and you get one spitting and drumming, and it's almost like you feel it inside of you when they get that close. You just start shaking, and that thing's got better eyesight than you. So if you're seeing him, he's seeing you. I think just the whole experience about it is just awesome. I don't know. I mean, I think it was the first big hunt that I was ever on with Kieth. We doubled up twice, and it's just, I don't know. It's just the turkey got me. It's a sickness for me.
I think
for sure.
You sure it's not Kieth? Because I got the chance to talk to Kieth during turkey season on the phone while G was down there, and he had me amped up after I had shot a bird already that day, and he had me all pumped up waiting for tomorrow because we started talking, and he's just all about it. I think it's more Kieth than anything.
I mean, I'd say I probably got it just as bad, if not a little worse than him because of him. But he is, I always tell him, he gasses up every situation. I will feel the whole tree start shaking. It could be a doe walking in, and Kieth is shaking. I'm like, what are you doing? Calm down.
I'll tell you a really funny story about hunting with Kieth, too, because Kieth and I, we've done a lot of whitetail hunts. We've done a lot of turkey hunts. And usually, and I always say, Kieth, I'll film you. He's like, man, I got all the time in the world. He's like, I'm getting behind the camera. I want to film you killing something. So that's always the goal. And then if I put one down, we switch it up. But it's funny, like Kieth and I this year, turkey season, the first day that the birds are actually firing up because of the weather, I got the bow, Kieth has the camera, and this happens every time we're hunting. The birds are coming in, this and that, and he'll be like, okay, they're over there to the left, they're coming in. Go ahead and get your bow, and they're going to do this, and once he turns around, get ready to draw back, and he's kind of coaching me through it. And it's funny because I always thought, like, this isn't my first time. And Keith knows it ain't my first time, but he always does it. And this year, after I damn near cut a turkey's head off, the next morning we switched it around. So Keith's got the bow in his hand, and I'm behind the camera. And I did not even realize this until we go back and watch the footage. All right, there's your bird at 50 yards. He's coming in. Get ready to get your bow. And I start full-on coaching Keith and telling him when he needs to draw and doing the same damn shit. And it's funny, you just kind of, I don't know, I guess you don't really realize it, but at the same time, when you got someone else there that's on your level, and you kind of, it's almost like a reinforcement of your conscience of what you are thinking. You know, and you know the person with the bow is even a little more amped up than the person with the camera. So it's just funny how he's kind of always coached me, and I thought it was funny, and then I did the same damn thing.
But I think when you're behind the camera too, you honestly, it's just part of a way to like let that person know, like, hey, I'm on it with you.
Right.
That's true.
I'm with you. I'm on it. We're both on the same, same game plan right here. It's all coming together. So I think it's just kind of letting each other know, like, hey, we're both here, and we're both, seeing exactly what's in front of us.
So it sounds.
Yeah,
it sounds
very
like
true. It is.
It sounds like.
I'm the hype guy. I'm going to get you fucking jacked, man. I mean.
Right. I was about to say.
It's crazy.
I was about to say. It sounds like Keith is the drug. You know what I mean? Keith is the drug. So
he's the pusher.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So Keith, I mean, obviously you being the drug man, I need to know is what states have you hunted, man? Have you hunted outside of Ohio?
Oh yeah. We've and that's the greatest thing of what we're about, man. Is I've actually we've hunted California together. Me and Dallas we've actually hunted California. We went out. We shot some Rios with our boys from Hornstar Outdoors, Chris Hall, and went wagon with Rippin' Ducks. And I actually did a waterfowl hunt with them, Northern California on the Buttes, man. And I'm telling you what, it was just crazy, insane. But I've hunted California. I've got a buddy of mine that lives in South Dakota, Yankton, South Dakota. And I think it was the second, third year, me and Dallas really, we're trying to take things to another level with Tattooed in the Wild. I hadn't talked to my buddy in a while, and he actually just hit me up out of the blue, and he's like, dude, I got Merriams all around me. You need to come out. And my buddy lives out there. He used to guide elk and mule deer hunts in Montana, and I worked with him here in Ohio for several years doing construction. But so we hunted South Dakota, where me and Dallas, we actually both killed Merriams out there. And where else? We've hunted
Maine.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And Kentucky, we've hunted Kentucky a few times. I killed actually a real nice buck. I've never rifle hunted before. I've always wanted to rifle hunt. So the first year we went with some buddies down there. I think it was about 4 years ago. I killed a real nice 8-point. I was self-filming. And, the sucky part is I couldn't find anybody to go with me. And if somebody would have had a second tag, after I killed my buck, I had probably 145-inch 9-point just jogging, frothing at the mouth 20 yards in front of me after I just dropped my other buck. And hunted Kentucky.
Maine,
hunted,
Canada.
Virginia, Canada, Maine.
California.
Yeah, so we're just kind of all over the map, man. And I'm the type of person where if somebody's like, hey, man, let's go kill a pig in South Carolina, man, I'm going to jump on it and go. I mean, I'm game. I mean.
So what is your dream hunt, Keith?
I would say probably I actually my dream hunt would be New Zealand red stag.
Yeah, New Zealand. That would be sick. With your bow?
That's me and you both, brother.
Yeah, New Zealand, free range, red stag would be freaking awesome. But
which weapon?
I would say, probably my bow.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. I'm primarily a bow guy. Like I said, when I was a teenager, I got into bow hunting. That's when Bill Jordan was big, man. Bill Jordan, Tom Miranda. Them guys, those are kind of the guys I looked up to as a kid growing up. And, so I kind of got into bow hunting then. And, But, I'm kind of just whatever goes, man. I'm, grab a rifle, grab a shotgun, slip out in the stand and, try to shoot a doe or whatever. If I ain't told my buck tag, I'm not picky. I'm just, I'm that dude. It's just like, do what you want to do, hunt how you want to hunt. That's just how I am. I mean, I'm going to hype you up either way. If you got a gun, I'm hyping you up.
Keith the drug. I need me some Keith to get my fix. So
dude, that's why Keith and I get along. You know what I mean? Like, he's out there floating the river with a kayak going after ducks, and then he's like, "Well, I got my limited ducks, and I don't have to work. Fuck it." Pulls out the decoys and goes out in the field for geese, or he's out there after his buck, or if it's not good, he's like, "Well, I'm going to try to take a fall turkey," or like, he's always game to do shit. Here's a perfect example. When they came out, we got our ass handed to us one day out there on the Chesapeake Bay. The wind turned on us. The tide was going one way, the wind the other, and we got the shit kicked out of us. It beat the hell out of my boat, everything. The weather was bad. After that storm went through, it was 2 o'clock in the morning, and it was beautiful out. And I call Keith, and I'm like, "Hey, you up?" And he's like, "Well, I am now. You just called me." I'm like, "It's fucking beautiful out. What do you want to go?" "Oh yeah, I'm on my way." And just like that, Keith was up out of bed, and he was the only one that got up. Man, we went out there 2 o'clock in the morning, and we had an absolute stingray smash. Just he and I, but that's why Keith and I get along. There is no. Well, I don't know. It may be too much. It's like, hey, if that's what we're doing, fucking balls to the wall, hammer down, let's do it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, tomorrow's not guaranteed, man. Do it now.
Amen. You know what? And I know that holds a huge significance to you personally, Keith, because of, what you had to go through when you were younger. It's like that's actually part of the reason why us as a team here on the East Coast is we really preach the unity, is because nothing is guaranteed. It's just like a hunt. I mean, you're not going to come out successful every single time, because if they'd call that fishing, right, Trev?
That's right. That's right.
But what I'm trying to say is you got to live your best life, and you really need to. Not the whole YOLO thing, because that's kind of stupid if you ask me, because that almost signifies like, take stupid risks. Whereas what unity really does is just brings people together to help each other out, and then on top of that is you really need to appreciate the day that you get, the very next day, even just waking up, and that's when you take advantage and come together and help someone out, get out there and do the same thing. And I think that's why Tattooed in the Wild, the basis from what I see and what I've come to learn is, that's what I feel is like you guys are on that same mission, the unity of bringing someone out there, because no day is guaranteed, and you want to make sure that they remember that hunt, and you do it in such a unique way. So that's why I want to transition back to Dallas on, dive in hard. Exactly why Tattooed in the Wild is something to be reckoned with.
It's just, when it first started, the thing was we had so many people that just trash talked us when we first started it. And a lot of it had to do with me being a new hunter, especially in the beginning. Now it's been probably right at 10 years since we went on the first hunt, probably right at 9 years. And we got tore apart going into this, especially filming. And, we never gave up. And that's one thing with Keith, like the sickness. He has a true sickness. Like he said, it doesn't matter what time of day it is. It's, if he has to work in 2 hours, but he knows there's a bird gobbling an hour away, he's going to do whatever he can to get there to hunt that 5 minutes and try to kill that bird before he has to, get back to work. And that's every single day with him. So I think with him and I, the friendship just became so close, and we actually made a promise to one another that if we start this, we will not stop it. Have we taken breaks, and has it taken us a long time? Absolutely. But we are learning every single day. every single day we're learning, we're meeting new people, just like we are right now here on this podcast. It's nothing happens overnight. It might look like that to the average person when they see something happen, but they don't really see the work that's put in behind it. And I've been in a tree stand just as much as, anybody that can say that they've been hunting since they were a kid. Kieth will tell you I have put in the time, I have put in my hours. I might not have the amount of years, but I promise you I have the amount of time totaled up in the woods. And it was all with Kieth beside me, every single step of it. And, I just, with the kids being involved, everything is just, we just made a pact that it would never stop, to the point to where when I opened this studio, I named it Tattooed in the Wild Studio. We have something that's never been done. It's never been done. Every hunting show, everybody's looking for a new way to tell a story. But it was almost to a point to where everybody ran out of a new way. We found the new way. We found it. We knew we did. And there's so many hunters out there that are covered in tattoos now. Times have changed. It's different. It's not what it used to be. I honestly don't know if there's a whole lot of hunters out there that don't have some type of hunting related tattoo.
And a lot of hunters have a tattoo, or, kind of like what Tattooed in the Wild is about. You get a tattoo, it means something a lot of times. And a lot of times people get a specific buck or a specific turkey or whatever, to signify that point in time. So it's, it just brings it all around. You live to hunt, and the tattoo is to relive the hunt. And most of the time when you're getting the tattoo, you're telling the story about it.
Yes.
It's kind of something we all really just do relate to.
Yeah. And
gee, is that like the got carp tattoo I got?
You need to go that. All right. So he does. He's got a carp tattoo. He used to be a carp fisherman, and I showed him the ways of force feeding them instead of leaving a dough ball on the bottom waiting for him to bite. So Trev's going to head down there to see you in Virginia, Dallas, at the Tattooed in the Wild studio, and you got to put a bow fishing arrow right through that carp tattoo for him.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah. So,
and anybody listening to this, obviously if you're listening to this, wildlife is your thing. A lot of us are tattooed and whatever. Go on Instagram and check out the studio. You're talking about a tattoo studio that is designed around the outdoors and hunting. Kieth made all these tables out of live edge wood and resin. There's all the different signs are wildlife related. There's taxidermy in there. Like, it is, this isn't just like some gimmick type shit. Like, Dallas lives and breathes tattoos and is a killer traditional tattoo artist. Kieth lives and breathes the outdoors. And when they came together, both of those passions just kind of blew into something. And I've been kind of with them, and Ryan Davis. It's just something everybody can relate to, and you get some badass people, good stories, and real motherfuckers. And yeah, man, that's why I've always been a big supporter of Tattooed in the Wild.
And the crazy thing is, every name that's been mentioned here, we've either met through the hunting side of it or through the tattoo part of it. Like Ryan Davis, he was in there getting tattooed by me. I told him what we were doing and who my partner was, and he was like, oh, I went to school with Kieth. Ryan was like, I have a huge farm that nobody's hunting right now. Just my brother goes out there for shotgun every once in a while. And he said the last couple of years, I don't know if anybody has. So I was like, well, we're definitely interested. So I called Kieth, and I was like, Kieth, come to the shop. 2 seconds later, Keith's kicking in the door ready to see this property. So he is ready. So that's where all that started with him. And, Johnny Simonetti, he was a friend of my brother's that when he heard about the show, we were just hanging out at a New Year's Eve party, I think it was. And Johnny was like, man, I'm hunting. And I was like, well, we'll go out. I got some cameras. I'll try to film you. That's where he was met you through Instagram. Chad Webb, that has Sacred Mountain Tattoo in Kentucky. We met him through Instagram.
Is that
and went out
Caterpillar?
to his property. No, this is Chad Webb. Caterpillar's in California.
Oh, okay.
Caterpillar was a random hit up and said, "Hey, y'all's logo's badass. Can I get it tattooed on my neck?" I said,
Crazy motherfucker.
I did his line drawing. 2 days later, he sent us a photo. He's got our logo on the side of his neck. That's when we realized this is real. People love it. I mean, that's as hard as you can go right there.
Hell yeah. 100 miles per hour, man.
Yeah, so we've just met so many unbelievable people through this whole thing. So I think that's when we started realizing, like, hey, this is real. Like, we are creating a brand. We have something here to roll with. And Danny Reed, he helped us with our logos. We got him into it. He started the whole Crooked Creek Holler fishing line, like where he's doing all his apparel. You know, we met so many just unbelievable people that are just as passionate about it as every single one of us. So I think with Kieth and I, the partnership works so well because I kind of cover the tattoo side of it, and he covers the hunting end of it.
So, okay,
You know,
so
so-
take us through the process. Like, let's say I walk into the studio, and I just want to experience Tattooed in the Wild, like, full bore. Take us through the whole process.
So on a day-to-day basis with the shop, it's just a regular tattoo shop that has, you know, like Garrett said, it's just covered in taxidermy. Everything's geared towards Tattooed in the Wild. So when I came here to open this, I sold my other 3 studios, came to open this one. I said, this one's going to be the first Tattooed in the Wild studio, and I'm putting everything into it. So Kieth came up. He helped me do the build out on everything, lay the floor, the walls, you know, everything. We decorated this place to fit what we wanted it to be on film. So now we finally got the Tattooed in the Wild studio that we've been waiting on for 6-7 years set up and ready to go. Or it'll be 9 years now. And so on a day-to-day basis, you come in, it's a normal shop. But where we're at in Virginia, you know, we get a lot of support, a lot of hunters. So everybody that's coming in here, they are losing it. And one of the reasons I chose to open the studio here is because we sold more merch in the state of Virginia with the help of Johnny Simonetti than we've sold anywhere. Like insane numbers of merch, like shirts, hats, were pushed to this state. So we knew that this state would support us with the shop here. So that's why I made the decision to actually come here. And I met my wife on Instagram, and she was from this area. So it just worked out perfect for everybody. But for as far as an episode goes, like, you know, if we go out with Garrett, we shot the Stingrays, we got all that footage. We'll actually shut down in the studio here. And when he comes in, our plan is to do some stingray related bow fishing tattoo on him. So as we're doing the tattoo, Kieth will be here. Stephanie will be here because she was involved. Ryan was involved helping film with that. So everybody will be here, and we'll just kind of, as we're doing the tattoo, we'll all just relive the moment, you know, out on the water. So we'll go back and forth, and that's how every episode we want to play out. Every single hunt will be relived and told through that tattoo. So that's how much meaning these tattoos actually have. And not everybody has the video with it, but everybody has a story to tell with a hunt, and they're willing to get that marked on them forever.
And some of the stories are, I mean, you know how it is, D-Rock. Some of the stories that come from people, I mean, I don't care who you are, how hard you are, they pull on your heartstrings a little bit or just hit you deep, you know, like even, for instance, Kieth, you know, he and I, we've spent a lot of time in the woods together, and anyone you spend a lot of time with, you get deep in the shit. And Kieth has told me more than once, you know, it was a shotgun, a beagle for running rabbits, and his buddy Matt that basically kept him alive and gave him a will to keep going for a long time. And that's all the outdoors. And you know, a lot of people relate to that and have amazing stories to tell.
I think the best thing about it, though, is the combination of the team that you guys create over there, Dallas and Kieth, because you guys have a lot of experience filming as well. Dallas, you mentioned earlier about filming with the boxing gym and stuff, and then Kieth, I know you're a filming hog, always getting everything on film, and then especially for that one in particular episode, I guess that we might see or series or what have you with G on it is like he lives and breathes filming as well. So it's gonna be an awesome episode or video to watch, and I do commend you guys on just coming up with that something new factor, because that's a lost art nowadays, and there's a lot of people that ride coattails or and with anything new. You guys said you got shit on a little bit, especially you, Dallas, because you are a newer hunter or whatnot. Well, guess what, bud? Guess who gets shit on because I'm a newer whitetail hunter. So I can relate there. And then with the show here, we've been blessed with success only because of spreading that love, man, for the love of the outdoors, and for the greater good too. Though we don't do this because we get paid a bunch of money. We do this because we believe in it, and it's fun, and to even hear the stories and meeting the people is like I would. To be honest, I would have never even met Kieth at all if it wasn't for Tattooed in the Wild. You know what I mean? So it's something to be said. It's something to be said.
And the connections and like D-Rock was saying, to piggyback off of it, just the people that we've met through all of this, like even like your guys' friends and you guys sharing the podcast with your friends, like Johnny Simonelli and all those guys. I mean, they're big supporters of ours because of you guys, and it's just that love and that circle is just it's just getting bigger and bigger every day, and it's awesome.
Well, even at that point, Trev, we wouldn't even met D-Rock.
No, for sure.
It's true. It's true. It's crazy how the outdoors and podcasting and just for the greater good brings everyone together, man. So I do have to ask this though, Kieth. What is your favorite thing about the outdoors? And if you could include your favorite thing out of the Tattooed in the Wild.
Oh man, favorite thing about the outdoors. Whew. Now, I don't think this is long enough to go on, but
I don't know if that's possible to answer.
That's a good question,
man,
right?
I mean, just the tranquility of it, man. I mean, just being out there. I mean, I'm kind of a religious guy, so that's where I talk to God, man. I mean, so that's where I like to be. That's where I feel him. That's where I want to be. I mean, it did a lot for me going through some of the hardest times of my life. So seeing people struggle in general, I'm just like, like Dallas, he's going through that nasty divorce. Anybody that's going through something, man, it's just, I feel like I got to pick them up because I knew what it did for me, and that's what I want to do for them. And you know what I mean? I'll do everything I can, grind it out, man. Whatever we're hunting, man, just to try and make that possible. So that's kind of what it means to me. It's, I need it like lungs need oxygen, man. I mean, that's just from my point of perspective. But for Tattooed in the Wild, the greatest thing, it's a journey. It's a journey. I don't want it to end. I mean, it's just meeting people just like you guys. I mean, we've become a brotherhood. I've met, I got a guy out there. I look up to him like a dad, Clint Wagner, man. He put us on some birds out in California, and we've just become so tight. Chris Hall out there, just tight. My boy, Kyle Clark from Doc's Deer Sense in South Carolina. He's, just everybody we come in contact with, we just become like a big family. So that's what I take away from Tattoo, and that's what Tattooed in the Wild's about, man. I mean, to me, it's like if you have a wildlife tattoo, just symbolizing your love for and passion for the outdoors. To me and Dad talk about all the time, you are Tattooed in the Wild. I mean, it's not us, it's everybody else that wants to show their love and passion for it and spread it, man. I mean, that's just who we are. That's who we want to be. So that's kind of what I take away from it.
That's pretty dope, man. That's pretty dope. You know what? I can't wait to the day that we could get all these badass motherfuckers in one deer camp with enough shebeen, but not too much shebeen, because that could creep on you. You know, we don't want to get shabined. We're just shabiners. You know,
well,
what I mean?
you bring that John beer. I mean, you guys, like I said, you know, it's something that I miss a lot, man. Growing up as a kid, man, was like gun week was like Christmas morning for me, and you know, a lot of those people that I went with passed on. So this is kind of fun, man. You know, just having new people come out to my place, crash and hunt. You know, I got tons of public ground around me. I got some properties I manage, but you know, we've talked before, and I'd really love to have you guys come out and actually, you know, I'd love to film you. You know, if you want to come out, Garrett, and you know, bring that John beer. I know Stephanie's looking forward to it.
Hell yeah! And Dallas, now knowing how close you are, man, I definitely gotta swing on through and shake your hand, man. We all need to. And I know,
anytime.
Hell yeah, because I know Trev's going down, fixing to go down and get that carp adjustment on his arm.
You gotta let me know so I can have Kieth here to film that.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I'll be there.
For sure.
Well, and Kieth just mentioned his wife Steph killing the Shabine, but I tell you what, for those that don't know, she kills a hell of a lot more than that. That girl has taken some awesome deer, some badass turkeys. She's real deal, and of course Kieth is usually on the camera behind her for most of it. She's a fucking badass as well.
Hey Kieth, if your marriage don't work out, man, you know, two guys. I'm not talking about Seth. I talk about you, Kieth. I want to marry you, Doug.
Yeah, I mean, she'd probably agree to that some days, but.
Is that why you're growing your hair out like that, D-Rock?
Hey, man, I got to look pretty somehow. I could use all the help I could get. Oh, snap. That's crazy. So, I mean, this has just been really cool to just get... This has been a long time coming. And I just wanted to get the team, you know, the East Coast team here, kind of situated at the right time to get you guys pumping everyone's blood up, because this episode is really going to get people fired up for deer season, and there's nothing better than just sharing deer camp. I mean, I'm sorry for the lack of cracking beers tonight, but we've all been just glued to the headphones, to the headset, just listening to what y'all have to say, because this is something, again, it's a force to be reckoned with. It's something new that no one else is doing it, and all the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into it, and the emotions. It's like it's such at a much more personal level that I think a lot of people are really, really gonna relate to this for sure. But I mean, so
I agree with you, D-Rock. Like you said, it's that personal level. I know Dallas personally. I know Kieth personally. You know, we spent a lot of time together. And, you know, it's been a long time coming because, like you said, you know, Kieth and Steph, they were moving. Kieth built Stephanie a fucking insane studio. What's the name of her studio, Kieth?
Wild Styles.
Wild Styles. Insanely done the way it's done with the woodwork and all natural, all built by Kieth. The same type of shit that he put into the studio. You know, in Dallas, he had stuff going on with kids and figuring out where to be, and runs multiple tattoo studios and had gyms and everything else, but now has finally been able to focus and build the tattoo studio that they've always had planned. So everybody knows how it is. Like, you want to do something, you have dreams, but you also got to live life and pay taxes too. So, you know, that kind of shit, sometimes it takes longer than what you think. But, you know, I've always been a big supporter of Tattooed in the Wild. And like you said, it's that personal relationship. Not just because it's so badass, but because of the personal relationship with them.
Amen. So this is definitely going to be for Dallas. You made it to our first segment, Dallas. Ninja tip of the day. What really good advice do you have for the outdoor person or even life in general, man? Ninja tip of the day. Dallas Brewer.
Ninja tip. Contact Keith. he has all the answers, and he's the one dealing it out. He deals out the sickness.
Don't give away my secret. Shit.
That's a good tip.
It all leads back to Keith. He's the dealer.
That's awesome. So, I mean, out of what you've learned from Keith, what would be the greatest tip that you learned? Just from learning off of Keith. Good question, right?
One thing I learned from Keith is don't pull the trigger when he tells you to every time, because your truck might be behind that pine tree.
I think we need to dip into this a little bit. Can you elaborate?
That would have been the first doe that I ever squeezed the trigger on during shotgun. We were walking back to the truck and didn't see anything, and all of a sudden here come two doe cutting right across the trail, and he's just the hype man behind me screaming, pull the trigger, you got him, get on her. And then boom, it happens. And luckily the tree stopped it, because we didn't realize I had a Cadillac Escalade truck at that time, and it was parked behind the pine tree, but it didn't get it, but he almost got it. And you up in any situation.
We looked for holes around that truck for a little while.
We definitely did.
Oh, man. That sounds awesome, man. That sounds awesome. So, I mean, we're starting to wind down a bit, and is there anything that you guys really want to disclose? Because there's got to be something in the future coming out soon that no one really knows that you could disclose here on the podcast when it comes to Tattooed in the Wild. There's got to be something you guys are working on.
I mean, I could jump in on that. Well, it's we found a guy in Virginia. Actually, Dallas kind of found a guy in Virginia. We're wanting to try to do a first episode coming out, and I think Stephanie's going to be our bait for the first one. So I think we're going to right around I'm coming out, I think right on my birthday. I think I'm leaving out mid-August. We're going to come out and get Steph tattooed and try to put together a first episode possibly. So
hell yeah. That oh man, now you got my blood going.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Keith, you really are the drug, bro. You really are the drug. You know what I mean?
Yes. Keith will tell you, with all the years that we've put in, I think there's a lot of stuff that a lot of people would have put out there, but I'd say I'm pickier than he is on stuff, and harder and more critical on our personal video, where we've held back for so long that now it's time to release it. We've learned so much, and we've captured so much, especially Keith. I mean, because he always puts everybody before him when it comes to hunting. Just like Garrett said, it's you come there, he's like, no, you get on something first, then, I'll get on something. He always puts everybody else first. There's one thing about him. He's always been like that, and he always will, because he loves it that much, and he wants to, just like you said, dealing it out. He's dealing it to everybody. He wants you to have that sickness with him, so he's not alone. And, we're finally at the point to where it's time to release it and let everybody see what we've been doing. I mean, we haven't hardly released anything, and now it's time to turn it loose for everybody. We have the studio. We're set up to film here now. I think that was the biggest holdback for us, is that we didn't have the studio prepared to film in. So now we are completely set up. Everything's wide open. We designed it, exactly how we wanted it to be laid out for the show. So now we're ready to go.
Hell yeah,
now
man.
It's just getting together and getting the tattoo side of it filmed, getting everybody that we have on film out here, get the tattoos going, get all that put together, and then get it edited and start throwing stuff out there so everybody can see what this is about.
Word. So all this positivity.
You got my fucking blood going.
Yeah. All this positivity and stuff going around is I need to flip the script with this. So, Keith Chirac, what rattles your antlers, man? What gets under your skin in the outdoor industry? Or even in life in general, man? What rattles your antlers?
Well, I can't really say on here right now, but no. but no, I mean, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but is the social media bashing of other hunters. It's just like, especially like, the biggest ones, like give him another year guy. You got that guy. It's like, oh man, you should have gave him another year. No, I won't lie. I got high expectations on, with my friends, my group of people, but no, it's crazy. The deer's dead. It's done. The dude's happy as hell. Just congratulate him, man. Don't tell him, you should, 2 more years, you would have been 180 incher possibly. Well, we don't know that. So yeah, just knock the shit off. Just, congratulate somebody. Be positive, man. So.
Damn, what perfect segue to dip into round of positivity, and I want to start with Garrett, actually.
Oh, jeez.
Round of positivity, Garrett.
Dude, kind of bringing 2 of my families together, the East Coast crew and then my family out there in Ohio. The realness of it is if social media and podcasting and cameras and everything else went away tomorrow, Kieth would still be out there doing the same shit. I would still be out there doing the same shit. You guys would still be out there doing the same shit. And we'd still be enjoying each other's company and friendships just the same. So, yeah, round of something positive is I've been, a big fan, friend, and in a way part of Tattooed in the Wild. And I'm just fucking hyped that the new studios come together, that some things are getting edited, and, the dream that they've always had, and they promised each other, Dallas brought it up. They promised each other when one started to let down, the other one was going to pick up and bring them back up and not let the other quit. And they never did. Through all the shit that's happened, they never did. And that's positive.
Hell yeah. Trev, what you got? Round of positivity.
Round of positivity is, honestly, I'm going to start off with thanking G for introducing us to his Ohio family, man, because that means a lot to us and making our circle even bigger, and just all the support that we've had from all those guys from Tattooed and Wild, even their fans and so on and so forth. It's just a positive thing, and after just sitting here and talking, my jaw is on the floor, as always, as I always say, and I'm redundant on that, but it really, it's just a positive thing, man, and just ending this night on such a positive note with just great friends and making the circle bigger.
Word. Porn star, what do you got?
This episode tonight, it was just fucking awesome. It's a room full of savages. Well, I guess a podcast full of savages. And after this, with Kieth being the drug, I am just so fucking amped up right now. I just want tomorrow to be opening day. Getting to talk to you guys finally. And just thanks for getting my blood pumping, because now I got that itch even more.
Are you sure it's that blood?
Yeah. Now you're going to go into the itch too, aren't you?
Yeah. Are you sure it's that itch?
Yeah, well, it's my trigger finger, so.
Oh, okay. All right. I just wanted to make clear.
Gotcha.
It's not crabs. So, round of positivity. Let's swing it to Dallas. What do you got, brother?
Yeah, I think I just say to anybody that's listening, just if there's something you haven't had the chance to hunt or pursue, go for it. Who cares what anybody says? It doesn't matter if you're an expert or if you're a beginner. Everybody had to start somewhere. I don't care if you're 55, if you're 16, doesn't matter. If it's your first time and somebody gives you that opportunity, take it. It's every single hunt you will leave with a memory that you'll never forget it, ever. There's so many days that I don't remember in my life, but I can sit back and look at any piece of taxidermy sitting around me, and I can remember everything that happened that day. And you don't get that back. That's you lose so many days, but every hunt and all the experiences that I've had with Kieth and my children and, G and everybody else, Johnny Simonetti, everybody that we've met, it has been unbelievable. If this show nothing ever comes of it, I have zero regrets. It was amazing. And one of the some of the best life experiences I've ever had, and helped me grow into the person and the human being that I am today. And I can't thank Kieth enough for, getting that started for me and my family. So it's just been an awesome journey, and tell everybody, go for it. Just experience it.
Amen to that, man.
Yeah, amen.
I'm writing that down as a topic in the notes. Just experience it, man. Hell yeah.
Well, and like you said, that every piece of taxidermy, brings back that memory in full. So does the tattoo.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah. So, Kieth Chirac, Round of Positivity, what you got?
Oh, man. First, I just want to thank you guys, man, for having us on here, getting the bullshit. It was kind of serious. For the most part, it's pretty serious, but I'm a pretty serious guy, but we have a lot of fun, too. But no, I just want to appreciate the platform, kind of talk about Tattooing the Wild and making new friends and making that circle a little bit bigger. And, this is real talk by real outdoorsmen, man. I mean, just spread the positivity. Like I said, it's you can't measure those experiences with inches, man.
Word. I'm a scorer, and I'm agreeing with that.
Yeah.
I agree with it 100%. My round of positivity.
Can't measure it with the trophy tape.
Yeah. That's my go-to tool. You didn't know? But no, my round of positivity on a serious note is having Dallas Brewer, Kieth Chirac, Tattooed in the Wild, and of course our boy G, which I'm going to start calling the minister because he's bringing families together, and it's awesome how everyone here, G, pun intended, how everyone here on this platform kills shit. So, I mean, that's what I bring positive to the table. That's what I love to do. That's how the East Coast team puts things together, and now the family has grown even bigger. So on that note, stay steppin'.
And stay slaying.
Podcast go straight to hell. Yeah, speaking of hell, check out East Coast Bowhunting Podcast.
We keep it real on East Coast. First of all, I'm addicted to the show.
I like that. That's cool. Home or hunt, you live it, you breathe it.
It's a whole different world.
Just East Coast has a little bit more of an edge and a grind. It's a fantastic thing.
You guys are fucking awesome.
Well, number one is you guys like beer. I want to feel like I'm hanging with the boys.
You're the guys that showed up.
But I actually saw Jesus.
The point where it is now where it's insane.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
Just want to get the realest people possible in the industry. It's got to piss people off. We're not doing it right.
Nothing forced, all fucking natural.